Hey, it's Shabes, and welcome to another expedition of the Anime Encyclopedia. We're back! 2 weeks! Fresh! And not a lot of material this time. Because, I was a dum-dum and just didn't manage my time, or I had other things. I recorded this podcast on Friday, where I was going to be reading and stuff, and so it kind of ate into my reading time. And then I also went to a movie that night. I saw JJK0 with the roommates. So I only read up to so much. I only read up to G-Genocyber, which is like a third maybe of G. So I thought maybe tonight we could read one of the articles to kind of pad out the time a little bit. We got music chat. Thank you. And we're live. Yeah. Yeah, so the article I've that we're at, I've been going kind of in order, like chronologically, like, you know, when they show up. And I think the next one after erotica and pornography, which was the last one we did, this next one is everyday anime, which I'm pretty sure is like their slice of life section, or at least that's what I'm assuming. I've not read it yet, as I do with these essay type articles that they have here. I have not read any of them, and I like reading them live. We'll see how well it goes. I don't know. I'm a little worried based on like what I've known to their bias to be about slice of life shows. They don't seem to be the most keen on them, so I don't know what they're going to say about them really. Although this reading in particular, I'll get into it, but I was getting more and more of the vibe of like, and I think that this has obviously been like, I think if you've been keeping track of the VODs and the streams and stuff, they don't really like sports either. And it was really apparent for one of the articles. It was really blatant in some places. It makes me just think that, like, maybe that... I guess I'll get into it, but whatever. Hello, Hikaru. Good to see you. Camera and sync are out of sync. Yeah, I know that they're not great. It's hard for me to fiddle with it, really. I guess there's... I don't know. I'm not great at that, personally. But hopefully it's not too super distracting. It's not like a full second or something. I watched all 200 episodes of Sailor Moon, the 3 movies and 3 specials. Since the last time we streamed? Oh my god! That's crazy. That's really good that you enjoyed it, though. I don't expect good things will be said. Yeah, unfortunately. I hate to, like, go into that with kind of negative expectations. I hope I could be more open-minded. You know what? I think if I have poor expectations, it can only go up from here, you know? It can actually be like, oh, that was actually really good. And I want that. I really want that to be the case. I've enjoyed several of their articles, honestly. I don't think there's been any of them so far that were just, like, really bad. I don't think. Anyway. Hey, kind of busy. Might not stay for long. Oh, that's fair, Fullman, man. There's always the VOD, if you're still interested. But I appreciate you showing up at all. In which case, let's get started. Let's talk about Everyday Anime. Their article on Everyday Anime, it says. From anime's earliest days, it has favored storylines that would be difficult to film in live action. So they're going through this argument. Be they the flights of fancy of science fiction and robots, or the odd niches of animated erotica and pornography. I mean, life porn still exists. I get their argument, though. I think that anime does have that capacity. But that's the other thing. Anime is really interesting. The fact that it's even broader than that. It's even broader than, like, the wacky stuff. You know what I mean? That would be difficult to film in live action. And, like, at least for Japan, that's not really stopped them, has it? Like, in terms of the tokusatsu stuff? Like, there's plenty of, like, sci-fi and robots and things like that. What's poppin', Cozy? So I'm already like, okay. Anyway, reality itself was often only of minor consideration in shows and movies that focused on impressionistic representations of fantasy and fairy tales or cartoon comedy. And literally, they just linked all of their articles just then. They were like, fantasy of science fiction. We have an article on science fiction. And robots. They have an article on robots. I'm just double checking because you can right click these. Yeah, science fiction and robots is one. Erotica and pornography is another article. Fantasy and fairy tales is another article. Or cartoon comedy is their own article. On a side note, I hate how a lot of Western anime fans seem to think that every magical girl anime is a Sailor Moon ripoff. That's interesting you bring that up because they do very similar. Since you're not going to probably stay long, I'll just say it. There was literally 2 moments in a row, like literally consecutively. Maybe not literally. I don't know. It seemed like incredibly back to back, where they call something an Aim for the Ace ripoff, or like taking from Aim for the Ace or something. And you read the synopsis, and I'm like, besides the fact that it's a sport, it has nothing to do with Aim for the Ace. Based on just the description you gave me. And like, even you probably even read the Aim for the Ace article. Like, the fundamentals of what makes Aim for the Ace are not present in the show, besides the fact that they are both sports. Not even the same sport. It's and that like boiling it down to the most like, or the one that started it, or like kind of the more well-known one or something, is so reductive and annoying. Anime can be whatever it wants to be. I'm hard-pressed to think of a single down-to-earth slice-of-life cartoon where the characters are human. I'm hard-pressed to think of a single down-to-earth slice-of-life cartoon. Oh, you mean U.S. cartoon? Yeah. I mean, The Simpsons. But, like, it's very comedy-based, right? There's plenty in that way, but, like, that's not a comedy, is sort of the thing, right? Like, Nia Under 7 has comedy elements, but I wouldn't really watch it for the comedy necessarily. And, like, a lot of these slice of life have comedy and stuff, but there's other aspects to it. Anyway, some foreign critics in the late 1990s identified a group within fandom that found foreign critics. So are they talking about Western critics, or I don't know. That found Japan itself to be as intriguing a subject as the fantasies that took place there in an anime context. I don't like where this is going. Oh, I really don't like where this is going. Video... If you think you know where it's going, I don't know. Aim for the Ace and Sailor Moon is just as much Super Sentai as it is Magical Girl. Yeah. Aim for the Ace and Prince of Tennis barely have anything to do with each other other than featuring the same sport. Yeah, pretty much. Okay. Video liner notes, particularly from Animego, took great pains to explain elements of modern Japanese culture as revealed in shows such as Urusei Yatsura and Ranma 1/2. While some producers within Japan began to identify the particular Japaneseness of, say, chairless dining rooms in Sailor Moon as a barrier to mainstream international acceptance. While some producers within Japan began to identify the particular Japaneseness of, say, chairless dining rooms in Sailor Moon as a barrier to mainstream international acceptance. The critic Koichi Iwabuchi suggested that unique cultural elements were often regarded as an unwelcome cultural odor, quote-unquote odor, that needed to be exorcised. See, for example, Astro Boy. But as Japan's global soft power grew, this was converted into a welcome cultural fragrance, in which, and I'm putting quotes whenever they put quotes, in which a Japanese origin and setting became part of the appeal. That's interesting. I really don't like where they're going with this. I'm not getting good vibes, because if they're gonna frame this as a way of like condemning this in some way, that like, oh, you only like the slice of life stuff because it's Japanese, because it's a different culture. That could certainly be the case with some of these settings, but like, I really don't think so. I can see it. I certainly can see it, especially for new fans and maybe surface level fans, if whatever, and maybe a lot of that whole weeaboo thing. Like, I get that. That's certainly a reality that exists, where people really kind of fantasize or maybe even fetishize, not even maybe, like definitely fetishize Japanese culture. But slice of life itself, I don't know how much appeal, if that's directly the case. I'm not necessarily, like, there's slight, like, honestly, slice of life that I can think of, like Aria. I mean, Aria's a slice of life, right? I'm not trying to make an exception or something like that, but like, even like slice of life like Non Biori, Natsume, like non-Biori, right? That is a slice of life and escapist in its own way, I imagine, because they're country girls. It's not even that they're Japanese, but that they live in the country. Whereas a lot of Western people, like myself and plenty of other people, have either lived in cities or suburbs, if you're trying to think of it from a Western perspective. So in that instance, there's sort of a culture, it's literally like experiencing something that's different from you. Not necessarily that it's a cultural difference, like, oh, they're Japanese. Well, there's some elements to that. But, like, I'm already getting real heebie-jeebie vibes from this article, honestly. Hey, I think Hey Arnold is one, though I rarely watched that show. Yeah, that's a good example. Doug? Arthur? True, and I started watching Hey Arnold a few years ago, but never continued it for some reason. Honestly, the only thing I've ever really seen of Hey Arnold was the finale movie. It was more of a Cartoon Network Adult Swim guy growing up. Yeah, fair. Hello, Dolly. Let's keep going. The quotidian world. Quotidian? Quotidian. Alright. The quotidian world has never been entirely absent from anime. I need to know what that means now, because Define. Define. Of or occurring every day, daily. Okay, so that's another word for slice of life, basically. The quotidian world has never been entirely absent from anime. It is, after all, the location of the long-running Sazae-san and many other dramas and comedies. In the late 21st century, as media stories proliferated about the large number of hikikomori, shut-ins, represented within anime fandom, it became apparent that the last frontier for modern Japanese animation might be the real world itself. With a deep sense of ready nostalgia for hazy school days, mawkish classroom flirting, or the exotic appeal of old-fashioned friendships and hobbies. While colorful the motion picture was ostensibly a fantasy about the afterlife, much of its creative effort was expanded in images of reality, and a story that treated mundane events and relationships with the breathless excitement of a wide-eyed tourist. Every day, Japan... Wait, for some reason, the story that treated mundane events and everything... You know what flashed in my mind? Only Yesterday. And there's something about that movie that is more about nostalgia, but that is very much a slice-of-life movie, right? That's from the 90s. And they're trying to make this as like a very recent phenomenon. I'm sure that it's clear, like, there wasn't these kinds of slice-of-life series in the 70s, and probably not even in the 80s. I would say in the 90s, though, it was definitely starting to be more apparent. And then the 2000s, right? I keep saying this, but a lot of classic novels are basically slice of life, like Anne of Green Gables and Heidi. Yeah, Heidi is a huge slice of life. I'm watching it right now. I am loving the shit out of it. It's so good. It's so well produced, and like, it's definitely it feels like it's so dumb, but it does feel like the progenitor of like that genre where young kid with older adult that's like curmudgeon-y or something. Like fucking Barakamon, Usagi Drop, fucking Sweetness and Lightning, like the little kid with the older adult and stuff. That is totally from Heidi, I think, because Heidi was a relatively successful and popular anime. I mean, it did effectively kick off World Masterpiece Theater. For a reason, it's fantastic. I don't think they would take issue with those. Hence why they were made into anime. The pineapple scene in Only Yesterday is my favorite scene. That literally, the pineapple scene particularly was what I was picturing when I read that sentence. Although that's not, it's weird. On one hand, I do appreciate them trying to psychoanalyze and try to like figure out a concrete reason why this stuff was getting so much, so made and everything. I understand the logic and it's interesting, but it's still very cynical to me. It seems like you're really just blaming it on Western fans that want to fetishize Japanese culture and hikikomori. Shut-ins. Oh, that's why, Everyday Japan, as depicted in the glorious sunsets and summer days of Makoto Shinkai, often gained an aspect of hyperreal, romanticized beauty. Studio Ghibli movies, since My Neighbor Totoro, have valorized the technologies and etiquette of the good old days. They put that in capital letters. Good old days. Capital letters. But capitalized it. They didn't put it in all caps. In a comparable attempt to appeal to a broader age range, more recent films such as Summer Wars similarly developed a sense of nostalgia toward the recent past. I guess. Though that film is definitely more trying to do like the balance of both, because there's the technology and the future and stuff, but it's trying to give the emphasis of the home and the family and traditional stuff. I don't know. But it's not trying to be like traditionalist in the same way. I don't know. Nostalgic? I guess. Several modern anime, most conspicuously Aesthetica of a Rogue Hero, also allude to a shared sense among the PlayStation generation that today's children genuinely do spend their evenings leading armies, fighting crime, or casting spells on their consoles in their bedrooms, turning what's going on outside their windows into the new undiscovered country. I guess, yeah. Izumi Kizara, the writer of HAL, has suggested that this crosses over into the media mix offered by the news itself, and that our modern lives are so beset by images of disaster, terrorism, and world-threatening crises that a humdrum, relatively carefree existence has attained new value as a form of escapism. It's so weird that they're trying to psychoanalyze and justify why this stuff exists. That's such a weird approach. They're not really embracing it. They're just kind of be like, what is this odd phenomenon? It's just nothing. Nothing happens. It's just life. It's every day. It's the real world. You know? That's just how it's coming off to me. Kind of predictably. I know only yesterday references an old Japanese puppet show from the 60s. Not every aspect of Japanese culture is epic, like the severe bullying of people that don't fit in. The term Nichijou, everyday or mundane, entered anime production slang in the early 21st century as a term used to describe this sense of nostalgia applied with immediate effect, usually to a high school life regarded by 20-something otaku with rose-tinted spectacles. In particular, the everyday, sought out by such shows, presented an opportunity to eavesdrop on the lives of attractive single young ladies, offering not the pornography of their physical bodies, but a more intimate invasion of their inner lives. So now they're just antagonizing it? Great. As a kid, I enjoyed outside as much as playing video games. Don't know why boomers think young kids are all shut-ins. What have I missed? I'm suffering through NHK, but think I fell in. Annalisa, we're reading this article about everyday anime from the Anime Encyclopedia, 3rd edition. Japan's most known saying, the nail that stands out gets hammered down, sad but true. Yeah. The subgenre was enough of a phenomenon for Kinema Jumpo to publish a guide to it. As Nichijouke anime hit no Hosoku, the rules for making a hit everyday anime in 2011. This identified the earliest successes in the field as Azumanga Daioh and Lucky Star, but also the genre's key points as a moe. They really didn't want to use that because they have it in quotes and italicized. Moe. Concentration on the concerns of cute and usually comedic schoolgirls. Its arguable apotheosis was K-On!, similarly based on a 4-panel gag comic strip aimed at males, favoring characterization over incident in the lives of unattainable girls. Unattainable girls. Okay. One hence gets the sense that everyday anime have slightly different applications in Japan and abroad. To Japanese viewers, they can be a glimpse of the familiar. To foreign fans, they can offer a window into the many petty differences to be encountered in Japanese culture, from coffee in cans to school uniforms. In both cases, they offer a view of the greatest mystery of all, the private life, thoughts, and conversations of women, or at least as it is imagined by largely male anime and manga creators. That's it. Actually, yeah, that was worse than I was expecting. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to hyperbolize it. What do you guys think? I want to hear what you thought of that article. I'm really disappointed in it, actually. No pause, no upside. Yeah. I guess it makes their stance really clear. You know, it's not like I can just be like, well, I'm detecting this weird antipathy towards slice of life anime in this article here, and here. No, it's all just right here. You can pretty much just cite, yep, here's our problems with it. It's intrusive to the private lives of fictional characters. It's fetishizing. I don't say fetishizing. I don't know if I'm putting words. The way they word it, it's like the reason it's interesting is because it's Japanese. To Western fans, at least. And then, like, you know, I think the best example they had of their justification of why it exists is that idea that Japan is so inundated with terrorism, disaster. The real news is so horrific. They just want something to escape from, which is just like a regular town, nothing bad happening kind of thing. I think that makes sense, but the rest of it was so frustrating. It's the foreign exoticism angle that travel and tourism industry thrives off of. Man, why judge someone for the fiction they consume? Honestly, I wish I could go back to university and make that dissertation. Kawi. Pretty much the animation is only for kids mindset in a nutshell. The K-On! Girls are attainable in my heart. I mean, didn't Cynic or someone else once observe that Nichijou Ishiake genres usually pop up as escapism, usually after a huge traumatic disaster? Yeah, probably. Yeah, I totally believe it. It may have been paused when he talked about Fukushima and Your Name. Maybe. That just seems familiar to me. I can only guess the article afterward, but it reminds me of the CNN slander piece on degenerate set Japan lolly softcore pornography. Yeah. I'm basically sticking with the stream for U-shapes, not the book. Oh! Fair, I suppose. Damn. Or, you know, maybe Moe series give Japanese people an escape from the intense work culture they have to suffer through every day, and I'm not even a fan of most Moe series. I think it shows even more a mirror into how sort of Western U.S. culture is so conflict and action-centered. That's a good point. That's interesting. Although there is something to be said where it's like, there wasn't a boom like this as there is now. So what really happened? What's the... And I like finding the genesis of that. I think it's interesting that they cite this particular article that really went into it and was like pretty much citing Azumanga and Lucky Star as the main things. Although it is interesting that they have this book of every anime, pretty much every anime. They haven't really missed any major ones. The only slice of life they mention in this book, in this article here, effectively, K-On!, Lucky Star, Azumanga Daioh, Aesthetica of a Rogue Hero, I guess, Summer Wars, My Neighbor Totoro, Colorful, Sazai-san. Pretty much that's it. Yeah. Hey, I saw part of all your Jump anime openings video. Awesome stuff. Hell yeah. Okay. So that was that. Not a big fan, I guess. It is what it is, though. We are going to get into this. That's not... Is this the track? No, it's not. I'm a dum-dum. Never mind. Okay. I think... No, whatever. Thanks. It's a shame they keep getting blocked everywhere because I would have finished working on it. Soft guideline? Probably the Japanese economic collapse and the whole lost generation of Toko Hikikomori uptick. Yeah, that's what they were referencing, is like the huge surge of Hikikomoris and the whole disasters and a lot of accent, that stuff happening. Anywho, alright, this will probably be pretty quick because it's not too many articles per se. This is literally it. But we'll see. Take a little hour and a half, I don't know. I think the reason the moe boom happened is that Japan's social and work culture issues have gotten worse over time, with no one attempting to fix them. Yeah, potentially. Changes. So with Gaiking, they added the little thing about the 2005 sequel, directed by Masahiro Hosoda. I did read this and I was like, Mamoru Hosoda, and then Masahiro. Okay. Changed and moved Galactic Patrol PJ to Once Upon a Time in Space, or Space, I don't know. They also added a paragraph about that about the English broadcasts. So that's interesting. Galaxy Angel, they added a portion about the 02, 04, and 06 sequels and its uninspected online presence. They also cut this line from the first edition. I thought it was interesting. This is one of the last entries written before this encyclopedia was sent to press, which would seem to imply that little is going to change in the 21st century. A little pessimistic, don't you think? It's just because, like, this is a very, like, cliche title, I guess. They didn't even really rip into this one. Did they? No, they didn't even give a review, really, their opinion, per se. It was just sort of like, oh, little will change. I guess it's the same old, same old. Like, whatever. Howdy, howdy. Good to see you. Yeah. Galaxy Express 39. They added some info about Galaxy Railways and the 2004 Maytel series. And this is another instance where it's a big article, but it's only big because they're listing all the different sequels and movies and tie-ins and blah blah blah. They don't really give they don't really give much historical or interesting information about it or their opinion or anything. I wonder if there's also a parallel with Japan's growth in otaku-themed culture, with also America's resurgence in Marvel comic book geekdom entering the mainstream. It did change. It got worse. Yeah. Galforce, they added this little blurb here. So at first they said like the last movie was now played by the same characters were played by different actresses. But then third edition they included that it's with new character designs as well. They moved this title Gals to Super Gals, which is funny because that's just the Japanese name, Super Gals, and then they just put Gals. And I'm pretty sure it's not even one of the ones that are like... Sorry. I'm pretty sure it's not even one of the ones that were like ever brought to the U.S. So it's like they localized it for no reason. Like they created their own name for it for no reason. Yeah, it doesn't have a mark for English release, so I don't know why they did that. They changed Gamba and His 7 Friends to Gamba's Adventure because the first edition only lists the 1986 movie, and the third edition does list the 75 series first. The first edition lists the 86 compilation movie of Gamba no Boken, and then it says like, oh, it's a re-edit of the earlier 75 series. Then why didn't you put the 75 series there? Why? It's so weird. And it could be why, like, you remember earlier how we were like, why aren't you mentioning Gamba in this? Like that other one, I think it was, I don't remember, Rocky Chuck something? Not Rocky Chuck. I forget. Something about a squirrel with Orson Welles playing the pigeon or something. That's literally by the same author, and they have a similar art style as Gamba. I didn't look too deep into the staff, but like, it basically was Gamba. And it's like, why didn't you mention that? It's probably because they don't really consider much about Gamba, because if they're just going to put the 86 movie on here. They also do a little bit better of detail in the synopsis. They give more specifics. Although they have it as the weasel is it's the same spelling in both versions, and it's still not quite, because I remember just like not even like the fan subs, but like you can hear them calling the weasel Noroi, and they call him Norio. I mean, Noroi is literally like curse, you know what I mean? What the heck is Norio supposed to mean? Anyway, but like the first edition calls him a white weasel, and then the third one calls him, I didn't even list it here actually. They called him something else. I don't even remember. Let's find it. Gamba no Nakamatachi? Where is it? Ermine. They call him an ermine, which is a white stoat. And it's like, I guess. I don't know if... I don't know if they mistranslated that. I've always heard it was a white weasel, but I guess it's a stoat. Okay. A ermine. White stoat. Oh yeah. And it's like, they link one of their articles. Sea happy ermine. Like, okay, if you want to know what an ermine is. I guess it doesn't matter too much. First edition says it's a re-edit of the 75 series based on the book, and the third edition adds how it was planned to be 4-core. This was interesting. I did not know this. The third edition says how it was planned to be four 13-episode seasons, so 50 episodes or so. But it was cut, leading to some frantic replanning after episode 14. I think that makes sense because I remember like it's like, oh, it's interesting they're not really going straight to the island. And it's around 18 or 19 that they get to the island, I think. How movie cuts out subplots, the compilation movie, of course. They also include mention about the 91 movie, which is by Shunji Oga and the manga tie-ins, which the first edition did not have, which it could have, but it didn't. It's interesting. Sorry, I'm catching up on chat. I don't care what gets portrayed in fiction. It's all harmless, but not liking it is fine. Yeah, exactly. They didn't even romanize it as Gyaru. Come on, are they even trying? No, it's not that. It's the romanization thing. They're avoiding all those terms. Hentai, moe, otaku. They're trying not to use any of them. Senpai, and nothing. Nothing. So Gyaru, like, no, they're going to put gal. Because of their whole, it's their part of their introduction with their logic of how they, they went about making these localization decisions, which I can understand to a point. But then I'm making this observation that like a lot of they're using a lot of terminology and words in this encyclopedia that I have to look up in a dictionary. I don't even know what they are, and it's like if you're gonna put this like kind of like obtuse language in there. What's the harm? And also there's some moments where you do explain in parentheses like this in Japanese, like they explain some terms sometimes, like hikikomori. I don't know why they bother to make that hard line in the sand. Anyway, gal is a weird word in a title try to sell your average Joe in America. Gal Force does at least make sense for the OVAs, TBH. Shapes, you still need to finish Gamba. No, I finished it a while ago. I watched it on my own. I watched it with a friend of mine. The group watched it. Actually, now that I think of it, I wonder if people said the same thing for Slice of Life K-On! Types when Seinfeld's The Show About Nothing came out. Maybe. I think it happens occasionally on Twitter where you see people make fun of the Japanese name for Seinfeld is Tonari no Seinfeld. Which is like Tonari no Totoro, right? I'm learning more English words in this book than Japanese ones. Right, exactly. I guess retroactively people think that since current generation is bored once again. Yeah, I suppose. Alright, they changed to move the title Garjurian to Gdeline? I guess that's a thing particularly in the show, I guess. I don't really know. I don't know what the logic was with that. Gasaraki, they added director Takahashi was formerly a thespian? That's cool. I too am a former thespian. But kind of out of nowhere, just like why? They don't give any, like, don't explain, leaves, Let me just read not the full article, but like the full context. Director Takahashi, renowned since Votoms as the father of realistic Wait, where is it? Oh, because they added that. They added that in the fucking third edition. Why? They don't even have that in the first one. What were they doing? Gosh, oh my god. Yeah. Director Takahashi, Formerly a thespian, but renowned since Votoms as the father of realistic robot shows, does not stint on the gritty action. Why add that? What was the point? It's cool. It's weird. It's interesting, but like, huh? That was so bizarre to me. Like, Shabes likes girls in that way? Oh. I too was a thespian. Thespian. Gatekeepers. Added a portion about the 2003 sequel, of course. They changed and moved Godzilla to Gadzoola, the amicable monster. Okay, interesting. They also added the thematic resemblance to live-action Busca, the movie Busca, and a bit more synopsis, a little bit more. We just talked a little more about it. Added how it was originally how the original was screened in Australia, and that's how they had to do the localization. Oh, it was actually Godzilla, the amicable monster. Because if you don't know, the way they title these often is if there was an English localization, they're gonna list it as that. So Space Battleship Yamato here in this encyclopedia is listed as Star Blazers. Macros and Robotech are actually two different entries because Robotech is a combination of 3 different shows. But Battle of the Planets is listed is Gatchaman. What other ones? You know, Starvenger. Actually, no. Get a Robo is its own article, and then Starvengers I think actually was is not. I don't know. I'd have to look. Yeah. Pay for the book again for the half a footnote ad. Wow, it's just like I'm in uni again. Sheesh. There was a show about gaslit gatekeeping girl bosses. Yes. I think. That does sound familiar. Let me look again. Gaslit gate. As I'm typing it, I know it's a meme. Never mind. 0 results. God damn it. I got owned. Someone should make an anime with that name. Yeah, for real. I literally just looked it up because I thought it was a real anime. Fuck me. Damn it, I'm so embarrassed. They added the thematic resemblance. Yeah, that's it. Okay. And then Gene Shaft, they moved from, because it used to be called Gene Shaft and now it's Gene Shaft. So they moved it from before Gene Driver to after Generative. So like lower down later in the thing. Is Monster Z still listed as Transor Z? Let's find out. I doubt it. That would be interesting. It would be interesting then that they don't there's no double standards in that way. You know what else they don't use? You know how like a lot of encyclopedias or just big books like this, they'll list something that's like Transor Z, C Mazinger Z. And you would go to that art, you know what I mean? It would just be a header because it'd be like, oh, I'm looking for Space Runaway Ideon, and it's not in S, but if what they could have done is had just the header of Space Runaway Ideon and say C Ideon, because it's in the I section. Oh, okay, right? So they could have done that, but Transor Z. No, they do not have Transor Z. But let's see if Mazinger Z, their article... Mazinger. Let's see. Dr. Demon, so they know about the localization at least. Yes, Transor Z in the US. That's so weird. Why didn't they put it as that then? Did they put that like that in the 3rd edition? Transor Z. AKA Transor Z. So they have it listed as Mazinger Z. But then you do like Star Blazers. Yeah, it's listed as Star Blazers, Uchu Senkan Yamato.
Geez, game designers, make up your mind.
That is so weird. I'm gonna make sure I don't want to forget that. I'm gonna put that over here. Interesting. Bum, bum. Okay. Read the chat. Is Tetsugen 28 found under Gigantor? I'm pretty sure it is. I'm almost positive it is Gigantor, actually. No. Gigantor. Because it's just more well known. Yep, Gigantor. Right there. Yep. I find it funny that when America finally got Mazinger, boomers called it a Voltron ripoff. How? There's one pilot! Voltron has 5 pilots! That is demonstrably different! I'm sure they would have called a Transformer like, yeah. But Transformers also isn't piloted robots. Mazinger doesn't really transform, does he? Does he? Am I dumb? There's always something behind so backhanded about when a localized spin-off goes so far that people start being elitist against the original somehow. Stop giving me a heart attack. That sounds awful going through it as an iGuy fan. Just makes me more glad I grew up in the 2000s and not the 80s. Yay, same. I love that. Not the 80s. Yay, same. Just the screen. I just love that comment. It's so good. It's so like, it's so essence, you know. And boomers are like, let's see, Gen X, I should say. If you grew up in the 80s, you're Gen X. Yeah, and that's all the changes. Okay. Whoa, that Devilman sure is a Batman ripoff. All right. So new articles that I didn't look into them, but I noticed that these are ones that could have been in 2001, but they weren't. G-Taste from 1999, and Hajime Ningen Gyataru's, which we should know if you know my Dazaki series. I've mentioned it in a couple places. They do mention the series in Gone the First Man. It's this series, Gone the First Man, and they're like, oh, it's by the same author as this Hajime Ningen Gyataru's, the Gordles. I think they have the localization name is the Gordles or something. Okay. Did you not watch the new Voltron series? I have not, but I've heard good things about it. It's also nice that it's a complete story, right? It's got like a final season and everything, very complete story. That's good. But yeah, Voltron, you know, I haven't seen the original. I mean, it doesn't seem like anything particular. It just got like fortune and circumstance because it got one of the ones that got localized in the US and kind of took off. But it's not like one of the Nagahama robot trilogy or anything like that, you know? I didn't care for it. Oh, fair. Should have read that afterwards. Fair enough. It's not just the American thing either. Many South Koreans still think that Sailor Moon's a ripoff of Wedding Peach because they got that show first. Oh, wow. By that logic, we wouldn't make Voltron a Gigantor ripoff because giant robot. Hell, I don't even care for the original Go Lion. I keep forgetting it's called Go Lion. I'm sorry. I saw that people started sending the showrunners death threats because they didn't make their crack gay ship canon. Yeah, that definitely probably happened. Too bad. Anyway, reviews. Food review. Good guy. Positive reviews. Gasaraki. They liked it. It's one of the best Ava clones of the 90s. High praise. They seem to really enjoy that one. That's cool. Gatekeepers, they were also positive about. They thought it was an artful combo of Cold War paranoia with Evangelion with a large female cast of Tenchi Muyo. Someone's gotta take media away from them, and that's no, I meant more like you gotta stop referencing this other media. It's like this. It's like this. It's like this other thing. Stop. Don't. Please. But like, I like those. I like when I say Eureka 7 has like a lot of. You can tell that the creators are fans of Gundam, and have taken some things from Gundam, taken some things from Macross, and some things from Evangelion. That's a good thing. I like those things in Evangelion or Gundam, whatever. I like that. You know? But like, it's not. You can't just be like, oh, it's like this all over again, which they do with Eureka 7 specifically. They're like, the title is strangely looks like Evangelion to me. It's like, come on. Hell, I didn't. Yeah. There are always some nuts that send showrunners death threats. Yeah. Still, not justified. Tell it to Marvel and Dragon Ball fans. Negative. Galaxy Fräulein Yuna. Cloyingly cute girls. The last word in girls anime was thankfully a complete lie. Would you? Thankfully? Are you sure about that? You seem to have a bit of a bone to pick with the fact that there's so many of these like girls anime. You know what I mean? The fact that like it was so interesting that you point out all these slice of life are with girls, as if that means something. You know? And it's like, thankfully, a complete lie. Okay. But like, they didn't really give their opinion beyond that. It just had that vibe of like they didn't like this, or they're very very dismissive and not liking it. Ganbalist Shun, an uninspired retread of Aim for the Ace. You look at the fucking synopsis for Ganbalist Shun, and they don't say this in their article, by the way. Let me read it to you guys. Let me read, not the full thing. Ganbalist Shun. That's so weird. I didn't write that down. I guess I was so distracted by like this whole Aim for the Ace thing that I didn't even write down this. They totally get the title wrong. I don't know why. I don't know how they do this. Where do I put it? I want to make sure this is like alphabetical. It'd be right here. Okay. Moved. Well, they didn't even change it. They just changed title from Ganbalist Hayao to Ganbalist Shun. How do you get that wrong? Is the character his name Hayao Shun? I have to look again. Sorry. Thankfully, it's awesome that they link Wikipedia articles or other sources and shit, just so you can see for yourself. Ganbalist. So the manga is called Gamba Fly High, and the anime was called Ganbalist Shun. Ganbaristo, and then it's a kanji. So they probably just got the kanji mixed up. What is the character's name? Morrissey is okay, where is it? It's about high school gymnast Shun Fujimaki. Not even Hayao. I guess they just got this kanji mixed up. Let me just look this. I don't know why I'm doing this. This is my fucking brain, right? This is my fucking way I do shit. The way that I don't know why I do this. Let's look up this kanji. Shun Surugato. I'll put it in the chat in case some of you guys recognize it. It's Ganbalist this. Suru. Names? Shunji Suguru. Takashi Toshi Hayao. There you go. Okay, yeah, so they just mixed up the kanji. Okay, cool. But yeah, so like fucking A boy in the first year of junior high decides to become an Olympic-class gymnast despite having no clue about the amount of effort and hard work involved. An uninspired retread of Aim for the Ace and other sports anime, given extra clout because of the author of original Shonen Sunday manga was Shinji Morisue, himself a former Olympic gymnast. That's it. How fucking dismissive, right? It's so annoying. And reading that, where it's like, oh, he wants to be an Olympic gymnast, but has no skill and just has a lot of effort. There's something to be said about that, connecting it specifically to Aim for the Ace, in which Hiromi, yes, doesn't really have any skill, but she has a bunch of spirit and shit. But she doesn't have those aspirations at all. In fact, if you look at what the reason, it's about a high school gymnast, Shun Fujimaki, as he pursues his goal of competing in the 2000 Olympic Games to win a gold medal. Where is it? I remember reading that was like, it's specifically to win a gold medal. I don't even know where. Was it when I looked it up on Taiga? Has a dream of becoming an Olympic gold medalist as a gymnast. Having no previous training, Shun trusts his passion, boldly joins the gymnastics club, and sets out to pursue his goal. Along the way, he meets his share of entertaining and supportive upperclassmen, develops a romantic interest in his classmate, and learns about the happiness involved in devoting yourself to a sport. Okay, cool. It's just not the same thing, I don't think. Aim for the Ace also is very distinctive, and to boil every other sport anime down to Aim for the Ace is both a disservice to those sports anime, but also to Aim for the Ace, because it makes it sound like derivative, which is not. I'm real glad that Araki... Sorry if I didn't even look at the rest of the chat. To some degree, there will always be comparisons from well-known pop culture pools. Hell, tell that to the people obsessed with Goku. Goku is canonically lost to a rock. Pretty much. I'm real glad that Araki saw that power Okay, the Goku canonically losing to a rock is the same thing as saying, like, Luffy lost to a fucking crack in the wall. Multiple times. Like, one setback does not mean shit. Just saying. I'm real glad that Araki saw that power level scale wanking was a lost cause, and it started hard transitioning JoJo into more weird lower power fights in part 4. Speaking of JoJo, anyone noticed that Mal has marked part 6 anime is completed? What's going on? They list the complete episode count when it's confirmed, not when all those episodes are actually out. I wonder if they say that Onisama A ripped off Aim for the Ace. No, they don't. They don't. I know that. Because I read that one already, dear brother. It sounds like an anime I know from the 80s or 90s, can't remember. I thought the title was the same until you mentioned the 2002 Olympics. I mean, maybe. Because he's still in high school and stuff, so like that's like upcoming, right? It's funny because initially power levels were only there to show how pointless they were. It wasn't until Blue Saga that power levels became the end-all means to determining strength. Haha, oops. Anyway, I just thought that was really annoying. And then Gandhara, cheapskate 90s production, superior to Macros, was an unfounded claim. And that's like on the promotional material or whatever. And then they also call it an impoverished anime. Sheesh. Gear Fighter Dendo. That's a change. Strangely parasitic goings on. This was a weird one. Let me just look at the whole thing. Again, they don't really fully give their opinion. It's really coy. I don't know if I used coy in the right word. Yeah. Gear Fighter Dendo. Gear is the name of the organization to fight off the Galfar with specially adapted giant robots. Parentheses. Oh, that's a change. Cool. The complete dismissal. Love it. Computer Geek Hokuto and Gung Ho Scrapper Ginga both want to pilot the Dendo robot with fading powers. Blah 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 blah. Wait, what? Oh, there it is. Yeah. But with fading powers, the robot needs to feed on the boy's friendship to keep going. Strangely parasitic goings-on, directed by former Cyber Formula GPX artist Fukuda. I don't know, I got the vibe that they didn't like it. But maybe that's harsh. Genocyber they obviously didn't like. An incoherent mismatch of Urotsuki Doji and Akira. Far too derivative for its own good. Okay. Mixed. Galforce. Lackluster final outing and intriguing conceits. They talked so much about Galforce, like a lot. A lot about it. But it was mostly synopsis. Like they talked very in depth about the plot of all 6 or 7 of these movies. Really weird. Genesis survivor Gaiarth. Competent but unremarkable. Okay. Spoilers for Galaxy Adventures of Space Oz. Which, it ends with the... okay. They tell you what it ends with, and it's like, yeah, I would have figured. I would have figured as much. But still, spoilers. Galaxy Search 2100 that gives away the entire thing. Just kind of gives the whole plot. Galforce, just way too much info. Way too much. Just absurd. And then Genocyber, they do like, eventually, this happens. Yeah. Couple odd choices. Hence why I don't like Boo Saga. The joke and satire becomes the norm and the ideal. It's like Simpson deterioration. I'm really sad that I only started having time to watch DBZ on Toonami when the Boo Saga and GT were airing, so I literally only get to watch the worst parts. I mean that they marked JoJo Part 6 as done airing, and you can mark it complete with 12 episodes. Makes me glad it got Dragon Ball via the Cell Saga. JoJo 6 Part 1. I mean, you put superior to macros in your marketing, and you're kind of asking for snide remarks. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Odd choices for me. Let's first do some good ones. Wait a minute. Let's just do good first. Ganbarugar. I like that they did this. They say he tests his mettle and ability to persevere. Ganbaru in Japanese. They're showing you where the title comes from. They're explaining the Japanese. Like, that's good. That's good. That's not hard, right? It gets them more interested. I don't see why they avoided this shit. I don't know. G-Genocyber, one of the first 90s TV anime to combine cheaper cell animation with flashy computer graphics. I was wondering what show was really the first that did that in terms of the TV anime. That's great. G-Genocyber. Interesting. It's tidbits like that I would prefer and would want from a book like this. And not like... I really got the realization yesterday when I was reading this. Like, it's such a wasted opportunity, like how big this book is, and so much of it is just the synopses. What happens in each of these anime? When, like, maybe I'm dumb, but that's just not the most interesting thing to me. I think it's good to describe what it is, it's driving robots, but like I kind of want to have an idea of like the vibes, kind of what it goes for, who created it, the context it was made in. Not the details. I really couldn't give a shit about the very specific what happens minute 2, 3, 4, or what happens at the end. I'd rather not know what happens at the end. It's probably more comedically based in return from... To play devil's advocate, Genocyber isn't that great. It's right before Shoei Kawa figured out how to do good drama instead of just filling the script with edgy crap. Yeah, I guess they're considering the different batches to be different seasons, which honestly does make sense. I know Genocyber's still in the infamous 3x3 meme, but I don't remember why it's on the Kino Snob anime classic list. Yeah, I don't know. Because it's probably more comedically based and returned to form for the OG Dragon Ball. You know what the weirdest thing about Boo Saga is? Japan considers the best part and Cell to be the worst one. That's funny. I haven't watched any Dragon Ball yet. When I get to Z, should I just watch Kai instead? I'm probably gonna watch Original Z when I get to it. The fact that Crunchyroll added it is great. The original Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z with the dub. That's a good motivator for me. I'll probably watch it after One Piece, after I catch up to One Piece. 'Cause I'm only like 86 episodes into original Dragon Ball. I still don't know if I'm ever really gonna watch Super though. Super. I think it's also a matter of timing. Synopses was probably a lot more interesting to people in the 2000s who wouldn't have had access to a lot of these titles. Yes, it absolutely is valuable in its own right, and I think it's fair to be, for the sake of their sanity, because they're writing all of these, and they're all original synopses. They all have to describe them in their own specific way, and that's enough work as it is. This is a phenomenal work of accomplishment. It's crazy. To really give a special treatment to everything in here would be way too much. But they do a lot. There's a lot in here. And it's unfortunate, especially with a lot of the bigger franchises, they pad this book out with just listing all of the fucking spin-offs and picture dramas and blah 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 blah. Why? I thought their Gios article was actually really interesting to read. And it didn't pad itself out with all the picture dramas and blah 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 blah. Right? I don't know. I just feel like it's still a missed opportunity. You can still do synopses, of course, but especially with some of these, there's like nothing besides the synopses. It's like, odd choices. Oh, good, yeah. So those are the good things. Sorry if I'm on tangents and stuff. So hard to timestamp this in the VOD. All right, odd. Galaxy Angel. This is one of the last entries. Yeah, I talked about that one. Galaxy Express. Anybody here seen Galaxy Express can vouch me for this? They say that he, Tetsuro, must accompany her on her travels in exchange for the ticket to get on the Galaxy Express. I thought it was the other way around. Meito gives Tetsuro the ticket, and on the condition that she accompanies him through the whole journey. And he's like, sure, I don't give a shit. And so, like, the idea is that he's just going on the last stop. He's just going all the way to the other end. And the reason they stop on all these other planets is because he's bored. It's because they're like, oh, hey, we're going to be stopped. The train's going to be stopping here for literally 2 or 3 days. So let's just get off the fucking train and see what's up. That's why they go on all these different... It's not like she has errands to do or something on her travels. He's riding the train all the way to the end. And that's what's interesting about it. So, you know, he's able to see all of these other steps along the way. I haven't seen Galaxy Express during that one yet. It's, I wish I could say it was good. I love one of the entries, Galaxy, no. Stardust Memory. Love that one. I was really disappointed in the show. I thought it was really repetitive. I thought they had... At a certain point, you could tell there's like 4 or 5 different plots, and then it just kind of changed the planet. But it's pretty much the same plot, you know. And there's not a lot of creativity beyond that. I think you're probably right though, Shapes. I saw Galaxy movies a while ago, and yeah, pretty much what you said. Okay. Game Center Arashi. Aim for the ace, but less athletic. Great! Oh yeah, sure! And like fucking no, yeah. Game Center Arashi and then Ganbalist Shun were like really close to each other. I even have them like next to each other in the fucking odd choices. That's why it was so like jarring to me. And this idea that they're all fucking the same. Is this the fucking what like led to like sports? I put it down here. Did this contribute to Western anime fans' antipathy to fucking sports anime? Is this why we can't get fucking Slam Dunk or Touch? Because they're too long? And no one gives enough of a shit? God damn it. Even for an inherently episodic show? Yeah. At least I thought so. It didn't do enough for me to last 113 episodes. But maybe it was the way I watched it. I did watch it in bursts. But I was supposed to watch it 1 episode a day. I did pace it that way. But then it kind of got ahead of me, and I ended up watching it in kind of chunks. And maybe that was the wrong way to go about it. I don't know. I wish I liked it more. I really did. I would be up to watching it again with somebody else, I think. It's so long at this point. I don't want to I want to commit to other things that I'm interested in, right? But I would be interested. I would be up for watch. It's not like a meh in the way that's like I'll never watch the show again. There's some other shows that are like that, but yeah. Sees Keijo, is this an Aim for the Ace ripoff? Dude, don't tempt them. Don't try them. That's a shame. That's a shame. TBH, I feel that way about Lupin Part 2, but I still like that. Yeah, no, Lupin is exactly that way. It just, there's that chunk in the middle, like the 2/3 mark, where they just don't know what to do, and it's just fucking whatever, and it's not fun. I like it too. I do have Lupin Part 2 as a good, because I really enjoyed the first 50 episodes, and then the last stretch they give it to Telecom, and like the last 10 or 15 episodes are phenomenal, including Miyazaki's 2 episodes are like some of the best Lupin content I've seen, period. So it's like, it's getting at least a good. Yeah, Game Center Arashi. Let me read this in... I don't know if any of you have seen Aim for the Ace. An early spin-off of the craze for computer games, as Japan's national invader game champion Arashi Ishii discovers that while he is bottom of the class at school, he is unmatched with a joystick. That's not Aim for the... Like, you literally call that... Wait. He's unrivaled with a joystick. Slowly developing a friendship with his rivals Satoru and Ippeida, he treats computer games with the reverence of martial arts, developing special attacks such as the blazed top, vacuum hurricane shot, and fish stance. In other words, Aim for the Ace, but less athletic. What the fuck are you talking about? And the fucking Ganbalist... The one right after it! I'm not kidding you! Game Center Arashi. Focus, please. I don't know if you can see that. Fucking Game Center Arashi. Ganbalist Hayao. And then that one, he's not talented at his sport, and they still call it Aim for the Ace. Which is it? Which is it? Do I have to... You have the synopsis of Aim for the Ace. It's pretty accurate. What's wrong with you? What the fuck are you talking about? Am I wrong? Like, fuck. Side note, as much as I respect the Japanese voice for Goku, I do find the performance during fight scenes off-putting. Yeah. Urusei Yatsura still remains the gold stand. I will say, Nozawa's voice works amazing for Kid Goku. For original Dragon Ball, it's perfect. And I see why they chose her, because she voices Gamba, and it's a very similar character. She's a phenomenal voice actress. But, like, yeah. As you age up, and the tone that it goes on. But the way that seiyus seem to work in Japan, they really aren't keen on changing them unless they die or they don't want to do it anymore. So she has Goku as long as she's alive and wants to do it. Urusei Yatsura remains the gold standard for episode virality. Yeah, versatility. That show is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Nothing but hits. Yeah, I'm in the last 20 episodes, and the jump in quality is extremely noticeable. Yeah. Started Urusei Yatsura years and years ago. I still have over 100 episodes to watch. I was there once. I was stuck on episode 78 for a year, like a year or two. Unrivaled with a joystick sounds like an innuendo. Yeah. All anime ever made is Aim for the Ace. I'm gonna turn into Kaiji's just Aim for the Ace with gambling. She is Kid Goku. Aim for the Ace is Anime Encyclopedia's Dark Souls. You know, like, it's Aim for the Ace, and there's also other ones, like fucking... Where is it? There's certain ones that they list all the fucking time. Tenchi Muyo, Urusei Yatsura. Aim for the Ace. Interesting they all start with A. Goku's a bit different. Yeah, I agree. They really should have just gotten a new actor, but they didn't want to change out Seiyu. No, that's Tenchi Muyo and Urusei Yatsura. Exactly, yeah. Can't believe that, though. Gear Fire Dendo. Yeah. Oh, that's a change. All right. Gene Shaft. Gene therapy has resulted in 9 women to every man. Blame Tenchi Muyo. Great. All right, sure. Joke. I'm sure a lot of con fans, a lot of anime convention anime fans probably laughed very heartily at that joke. Can't wait to very much enjoy Tenchi Muyo as any other anime. I'm stuck on episode 71. Yeah, I want to get to 100 because then I'll watch Beautiful Dreamer. I did the same thing. Japan does love her performance, though. She was voiced #1 in the poll of best vocal representation of a Jump character. Man, I don't know if it's a curse or blessing that I'm pretty much too ADD to binge over 200 episode anime. I do binge Kamen Rider though. I don't binge those long shows. I mean, I kind of do. I've been doing a lot of One Piece, 3 episodes a day, but usually I watch batches of 9 or 10 at a time. Ugh. Good shit. Just I'm in Water 7. It's really good. It's really good. Don't blame Tenchi. Tenchi's a good boy. Yeah. Genocyber. Matters aren't helped by English dialogue like, "You stupid, ignorant fucking piece of shit," which, needless to say, is a rather free translation of the original. No fucking shit. No shit. Although I really wish, it would have been insightful, is if you gave what the original Japanese was. Not just get Romaji or something, but yeah, why not? Romaji, fuck it. Granted, if they're so allergic to using hentai and these other terms, there's no way they're going to give you that information. But I would like to know which line in Genocyber, the dub, you're referring to, so that you can compare that to the Japanese and be like, they don't have an equivalent for fucking piece of shit. But that fucking happens all the time. Not fucking, but kono yaro, that literally happens all the time. I don't know what you want. Weird. Me binging Sailor Moon. Light didn't know that Lupin Part 2 changes hands in the final stretch. At 142, I noticed a huge change in quality a few episodes ago. The plots were suddenly consistently interesting again. Yeah, fancy that. I'm eyeing the better Pretty Cure seasons as I slowly finish up my major backlog. Major backlog? Oh, you mean Major, the baseball anime? Your major backlog? I've only fully watched Ryuki and Gaim. I've been meaning to watch Blade since Aikawa wrote the second half around the same time he wrote 03. Oh, interesting. Me and my roommates started Drive 2 weeks ago. That's okay. It's not bad. But we finished Forza. We really liked it. We finished Build. We loved Build. I loved Build, and our roommates were really blown away by how good it was. 01, pretty good. A little rocky at the end. Not rocky in a bad way, but I don't know. It had things where it was just yeah, it could have been better in places, but it was fun. It was good. And then Gaim was our first, actually. Would it go Gaim? I think it went Gaim, 01, Build, Forza, Drive. And then we've been watching Revice week to week. If you guys aren't watching Kamen Rider Revice, and you're a Kamen Rider fan, oh, you're missing. Oh my god. We're shocked at how, we're so lucky too. I can't believe this is the first Kamen Rider we're watching as it's coming out. And it's an amazing one. How? Can't believe it. Hello, Shabes. I'm watching this in the cinema room of my apartment complex. Wow. Hello, cinema room. You're very lovely. I'm sorry for my my desync and not so interesting visuals. But yeah, welcome. Thank you so much. I hear Blade is really well beloved in the first half for the memes and also how Kino finale is. Yeah, that's interesting. The first Pretty Cure series is a dub that is pretty good from what I heard. Oh, interesting. I didn't know it was... Did I know it was dubbed? Huh. I've only just finished W after Gaim, and I guess I watched 2/3 of X8 after Amazon's. Oh, interesting. About to watch Geki Ranger with some friends. Nice. Geki Ranger is the brand new one, right? The new Sentai with the Shadow the Hedgehog Ranger and Pink Flamingo. Pretty cool. Pretty based, I gotta say. I'm Your tears are delicious. I'm sorry. I just like I don't know. Sometimes salt is really delicious to me, and when I just get a kick out of it. Major, is that a name for the Ace ripoff? Yeah. Build is one of the best loved ones. 01 suffers most from being a Monster of the Week show about robo-racism. I liked it for that, actually. I actually, not for the robo-racism, but for but for the episodic stuff. They were good episodic stuff. I actually really enjoyed it for that. And the plot stuff it had in the first and then the last third was good too. It was just like, I wish, choose one. I'll probably watch Revice after it airs, but I should have watched it live. You can catch up. It's only halfway through. You should definitely catch up. Yeah, I wouldn't want you to get spoiled on that one. Because there's so many twists and so many really interesting developments that I think it would be really great if you experience. Like, what? It's really impressive. I know that Blade almost got canceled after the first 26 episodes because people hated the writing. Aikawa is actually considered to have saved the show. Wow, learning more about it every time. That's interesting. And then Genocyber, they also say, the idea of bitter... This was just not a good look. This is really not a good look. Let me read this. You guys seem to have seen Genocyber, right? Let me read the synopsis again, just for people who haven't. Diane is a cripple who relies on a cybernetic body. She lost her limbs in the same accident that killed her father, maimed her mother, and permanently altered her unborn sister, Elaine, a feral child with incredible psychic powers. Not content with stealing the credit for his work, Professor Kenneth adopts his dead friend's children and uses them in his experiments. And goes on to do a little more of synopsis and stuff. The idea, they wrote this afterwards. The idea of bitter sibling rivalry and a retarded girl with godlike powers has much potential, but Genocyber does little with it. Not the best choice of words. Not the best choice of words. I don't... Spread the word to end the word, please. I'm not memeing. I'm not memeing. And that's unfortunate. And they did not change that for the 3rd edition, 2015. I can understand it in 2001. But, and it maybe, they're not trying to make it derogatory or anything, but, like, that's a legitimate mental condition. Like, this girl is not actually retarded. You call her a unborn, feral child with psychic powers. And, like, I get it. I see people memeing all the time about, like, Tomino and his autistic protagonists. You can make light of that, too. Even though Camille in Zeta Gundam literally says he's an autistic child. Like, that's not even us being like, haha, no, he is an autistic child. And, like, that does lead to interesting situations. With his outbursts and, like, leading to jumping thing, and, like, the way he acts is compelling as a character. And I think a part of that does have to do with his mental condition of having autism, according to him. But, like, this is not flattering. Not a good choice. Not a good idea. Not a good idea. Loads up the entirety of Garo, anime, and Toku. Huh. Lol. Are they using the R word to actually refer to a mentally disabled person? Awkward. Well, yeah. Yeah, that was just not a good choice for me. Like, any person that has a mental disability is retarded. And I know you're not necessarily saying that. But it does seem like you're just diagnosing this girl with being retarded. Ghost in the Shell has an in-canon autism mode. Yeah, probably. That sounds like Ghost in the Shell. Now interested. Stuff I am now interested in because of their because of reading the encyclopedia and their articles, which is a good thing. Let's sorry, that did a little weird thing. Let's check it out. Galaxy search 2100. I just like the synopsis for this one. I kind of liked it. Of course it's not going to show up. I think it's like a Tezuka thing. Come on. There we go. Ginga. Okay. Ginga Tanken. 2100. Where is it? Are you kidding me? Border. Planet. Are you fucking kidding me with this? It's a 1986 movie. Samu Uemura. People. Great. All right. 86. Is it not on Mal? Bruh. Tezuka Pro? I could just look at... oh, god damn it. Did that kill the... Okay, I don't know if it's gonna... There we go. Ginga Tan Ken 2100. What? Great. Oh, there you are. Tansa? Ginga Tansa? Whatever. Yeah, of course. Of course. So it's like a love story type of thing. These background details were used in the Phoenix as well? Huh. Okay. I don't know. The synopsis sound interesting to me. Anywho, all that time was spent on fucking finding it. Galvian? I think I'd heard of Galvian before. Something about the synopsis really like got me to wanna check it out. Really. Let me find the Galvian. Aliens seal off Earth with the impenetrable Sigma barrier, ready to begin their conquest. UN Police Chief Rei Meteoriyama sets up Circus, a team of robot pilots charged with fighting off the would-be world rulers of the Shadow Society. Unable to find anybody foolhardy enough to take the job, he offers it to convicted criminals Mu and Maya, on the understanding that each task they perform will earn them days off their sentences. So this is literally Cyber City Oedo before Cyber City Oedo. A similar setup to the later Cyber City Oedo, and just as truncated, it was pulled off the air at short notice, with the rest of the plot hastily reported in a voiceover at the end of episode 22. A rare anime job for Grey Digital Target creator Yoshihisa Tagami, whose distinctive snub-nosed style can be seen in all the main character designs. Snub-nosed. Look at that! Look at the schnoz on that guy! Cool! Escaflowne noses! Cool! Interesting. Very few people, heard of, seen it. Reading the chat. Early aughts Edge really was a thing, huh? I literally only saw Genocyber because of Aikawa. Still find it crazy the guy wrote that crap made FMA 03. I think the in-canon autism mode is just when the user is disconnected from receiving electronic messages. Look at the Shadow Hedgehog game. It's defined as when they are disconnected. Ashino Joe 2 went up like 5 places on Mal rankings recently. Very proud of this community. Let's go! Let's fucking go! Where we at, boys? Where we at? Where we at? I'm not gonna summer ranking, of course. Come on. Yeah! Let's go! We're tied. We're actually tied. Because if you fucking like, I wonder if you do all this, you know, if you consider this a 3-way tie for second and third and stuff. I wonder how that would shape things out. That's the discotheque magic. It's 21,000 nene. Oh, I'm sorry. Sweet. Wonder if Megalobox has something to do with it. Yeah, maybe. Sub 100 members. Wonder if it's translated. Alien grind set. No, it's aimed for the ace before this concept of sports. Don't know if you care, but have you ever played the Kamen Rider Climax Heroes games? They're fun fighting games made by the guys that did Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. I might at least look up the gameplay like the TSA combo videos. Nice. Alright. And the last one I was thinking was Gandhara. It was about like a band in like a desert, and it was like some weird shit. And of course I'm not gonna find it. I can't have anything, man. Iceberg level right now. It's almost 8 o'clock for me. I really want to move on. I really want to join my roommates for this. We're hosting some people right now. Nessa. Okay, let's find it. Nessa Noha. I'm over it. I can't trust Mal anymore, guys. Ha-oh. Okay, whatever. I saw it down there. Hold on. Now. Look at that! Heck of a cover you got there. Again, they're 5.0. Damn. 98! 26 episode show? I didn't even realize. Sounded like an OVA to me. It's crazy. This looks really cool. Nobody's reviewed it. Very few people know what this is. Let me read the synopsis to you guys. A group of teenagers struggles to make the big time with their amateur band, though their fortunes improve considerably when they take on a new lead vocalist, Emma Branton. As the group ducks and dives through seedy agents and dangerous deals in the media world, lead guitarist Yuki begins to wish he had never agreed to support Emma, but he reluctantly helps her career out of his own feelings of responsibility for her missing brother, presumed dead. Meanwhile, deep in the sand dunes, the people known as the Sunlight are busy resurrecting an ancient demon, the titular Lord of the Desert, master of Lovecraftian horrors, who may be supplicated and partly controlled by music. The band is drawn into the conflict in a desperate attempt to create a new music-led anime franchise defeated by cheapskate 1990s production values. Superior to macros was the unfounded claim of the ads at the time, a boast as risible as the characters' own comparison of themselves with the early Doors. Though looking suspiciously like a retread of Clive Smith's Rock and Roll, the anime was supposedly inspired by the song Gandhara, a 1980s favorite that closed the live-action series Monkey, though this impoverished anime sadly lacks any other relation. I mean, that's too bad. I will say that designs, like, in the show, the context of the show itself, do look kind of ass. And, like, that is pretty unfortunate. But damn, Moriaka Toshi, oh damn! Hell yeah. I don't know. But I don't know, that looked interesting to me. Not very many, I don't recognize very many names on it. Gotta go by. Yeah, I'm wrapping up soon too. If only we could drag down Gintama. Yeah. I used to use Ashino Joe 2 as a measure for when new anime were added to the top 50. It would always find its way back to 50th place exactly, so if it wasn't, there was a couple new top 50 shows. Wow. Surprised I never heard of this. It sounds awesome. Yeah, I wonder if it just kind of looks ass, but I don't know. Looks dope to me. Probably check this out a little more later. Anyway, I'm going to leave it off at that. I'm sorry I'm not going to do any like open read or anything like that. It's always not really a most popular subject anyway. We usually just talk about other shit. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. Even though it was a bit of a brief chunk, you know, and there wasn't too much to go through. We'll try to have more next time. I think I'm probably just gonna do like all of G first edition and then all of G third edition afterwards. Probably just do it that way, but we'll see. Though I can't help but wonder why a recent show with a cool premise has such little attention. Nobody normally means it has some problems. Yeah, no, it probably just means it looked like ass. I bet that's what it is. It might just kind of just be the execution, which is too bad. Anyway, it's 8 o'clock, so I'm gonna peace out. Thank you guys so much for joining me. That was really fun. You guys are great. You have a great week. Yo, peace. Yo, peace.